What's up, Shadowhunters, Angels, and Darkmounters alike, and welcome to Fair and Unbiased, where I discuss my feelings on every episode of Shadowhunters every week in deeper detail than my episode of First Thoughts. This was not a good episode. Well, that's not a good way to put it. This is not a strong episode. I still enjoyed this episode very much. How They Are Fallen, though, is definitely not one of the stronger of the bunch. It has a lot of flaws. Most of it related to the Malik scenes. If you want to see my thoughts on that, you can go to my First Thoughts episode where I do discuss the problems that people are having with the Malik scenes from How They Are Fallen. So just not to rehash everything that I said in First Thoughts, I'm going to move on and talk about everything else that happened in the episode. Everything else that was actually quite good. As I say, this episode was not like complete crap or anything. There was just some weaker elements that you wouldn't normally see in the other episodes. In this episode, Jace was the closest to his book counterpart than he has ever been in any of the episodes of Shadowhunters. What do I mean by this? Well, he's an asshole. Honestly, that's the only way you can put it. In the books, Jace is a complete and utter dickhead, and not in the, oh, he's like troubled, although some people see it that way. They're like, oh, he's troubled, he has problems. To me, when I reread the books, it was just like, God, this guy's he's just a dick. And it's not in a likeable way, in my opinion. In the books, I found him I just hated him. He wasn't a good guy. He was an asshole to everyone. Even Clary sometimes. There's only a certain amount of sarcasm you can take before you realise that someone's just being an ass. So yeah, in this episode, Jace is the closest to his book twin that he has ever been in any of the seasons. I don't have a problem with Jace trying to move on from Clary by sleeping with other girls. To be fair, it's actually a natural response for someone to try and get over someone by moving on to other people. And I think it's very unfair for people to get angry at him just because they're shipping Clace and they're like, he shouldn't be sleeping with other girls. He loves Clary. It's like, yeah, he loves Clary, but people seem to forget. Right now, he thinks she's his sister. People are really forgetting that. People are asking for Clace scenes in the season without remembering they think they're siblings. Shadowhunters is not going to romanticize a brother and sister. So right now, Jace is trying to move on with other girls so that the feelings that he has with Clary are repressed. I actually talked about this in First Thoughts when I said that the scene with him and Kaylee was a lot more necessary than a scene of Magnus and Alec in bed, because it served the plot. It served Jace's character for that episode. I don't agree with him being with loads of girls at once, but it could be argued that they're fairies. They really don't think about is it monogamous? Is monogamous when there's loads? I think it's monogamous. They don't think about fairies don't think about monogamous relationships. They're more of an open book. They're everyone. You see that a bit with Isabelle and Meliorn's interactions in season 1. They acknowledge that their relationship is not exclusive. So I really not that bothered about Jace sleeping with other girls. It's actually a natural response to trying to get over someone. I don't agree with is his advice to Simon. He completely fucked up Simon's date. It seems like the sort of advice that someone like Jace would give. All the, oh, play hard to get. Like, they don't want someone who's too easy. Just try and be a dick like me. It was classic kind of asshole advice for someone who's seeking help with a relationship or a possible relationship. It was very bad advice. The usual, oh, douchebag thinks that girls don't want someone who's too easy, when in fact anyone would be lucky to have a cutie pie like Simon. So yeah, I didn't like that. I can't say whether I think that it's bad, because it does sound like the sort of thing Jace would tell someone to do. So I'm not exactly saying that it's a bad thing in the episode. Actually, I think it's a good way of Jace's character to be written, because can you really see Jace being the kind of guy who's just like, cherish her, give her flowers, be nice, ask her about her interests. It really doesn't seem like the sort of thing that Jace would say or do. So, as bad advice as it was on how it fucked up Simon's date with Maya, it played more into the kind of character that Jace is. Simon and Maya are cute as fuck. Now, in the books, I wasn't a fan of their relationship, mainly because there was a whole other thing going on with Simon and Isabelle during the time of the books. Yes, Simon actually 2 times 2 girls in the books. I will be talking about that in my podcast, may I add, because that's a whole other thing. Santa Claire and the showrunner even went on a fight about this on Twitter, but it's just like, around the time that Simon was dating Maya, he was also dating Isabel, and his excuse for dating them both at the same time was, oh, I can't choose. You're like, well, you better hurry up and fucking choose, because this isn't good. You're not telling either of them that you're dating other people. This isn't right. This isn't, even if you weren't exclusive, this isn't how a relationship works. You need to tell them that you don't think you're exclusive, or you're being a dick. So because of that, I wasn't a fan of Simon and Maya's relationship in the books. And even though in the show it's not evolving into a relationship, I still loved their interactions. They were so cute, the way they talked about movies, and Maya wasn't even annoyed that he came early. She was just, she was almost pleased by it. So they're really cute together, and I almost wish that they did have a bit of a relationship, even if it was only for a little bit before Sizzy really kicked off or whatever they're planning to do. I think they're really cute together. I love them. They're honestly, if they can't be an OTP, they better become a bro TP, because honestly, they could take over the world together. Not even as a couple, their separate characters are absolutely amazing. I loved Maya's talk with Magnus. I loved her talk with Jace. Not even talk, just like her reproachful attitude to Jason when she gave him the drinks. She was like, I spy on one. And apparently that was an improvised line by Alicia Wainwright, and honestly it worked so well, it made me laugh, and I was so surprised to hear that it was actually improvised. So I thought that was really good and amazing, and not only does it show that Maya has different, I keep saying Maya was how I pronounced her name when I was reading the book, so it keeps coming that way in my head, but it's actually Maya. So pardon me for that. I keep saying Maya instead of Maya, but it's Maya. It shows that Maya has connections in the Dark World. She knows Magnus. She knows werewolves. She knows everyone who probably enters the Hunter's Moon. And it was lovely to see her interact with Magnus. And Magnus talks about the gift that he was given, about how it's from someone he really cares about. I think it's really lovely, and I honestly want to see more of it. I think she's going to be the bartender at Max's party in the next episode, so I hope we get more of those interactions. It's really nice to see Darnworlders interacting with each other and showing that species doesn't really matter unless there's a sort of tension like the werewolves and the vampires. And honestly, even if there was tension between the werewolves and the warlocks, I feel like Magnus would kind of be able to wiggle through the cracks in that anyway and get to know loads of people, because he's just that kind of guy. So I loved seeing them interacting with each other. I thought it was great, and I would love to see more of it. Hats off, I'm not wearing a hat, but hats off anyway to Alberto Rosende when he had to turn into Jace. And I say turn into Jace, like it was actually Jace disguising himself as Simon and going and talking to a girl, but it was Alberto acting as Dominic, acting as Jace, and he did amazing. You would really think it was Jace, like the way he just walked up to the girl and was kind of talking to her, and kind of the squintiness of the eyes and everything. It was amazing, and like, it still bowls me over that Shadowhunters is the first project that Alberto has ever worked on. Like, he came to Shadowhunters straight from school. And that just is amazing. He's so good. I'm so glad that Shadowhunters found him, because not only is he a cutie pie on and off set, Simon is an amazing character for him to portray. And he's just an all-round commendable actor. It's amazing. Hats off, Alberto. That was amazing. Isabel looking for more Yin Fen. Now, people are having a problem with this storyline. They feel like the drug storyline with Isabel is just a way to make her a punching bag. And I can see where people are thinking that. But they had to give Isabel something to do while everything else is going on. Does that make it okay that they give her a drug storyline? I don't think so, because it's still a bit... but I feel like it's going to play into the downfall of Victor Aldertree, because I feel like there is going to be a downfall of Victor, whether it be in Season 2B or the end of Season 2A, it has to come. He is clearly an antagonist, or a minor antagonist, and the fact that he's giving Isabel drugs is going to be a way for people to find out how bad he is, alongside the torture of Raphael, how he's kicked Jace out. All the stuff that he's done, it's gonna come back at him. And whether it comes back at him as the finale of Season 2A or in 2B, I feel like it's going to play in. I don't think this drug storyline is going to be an overarching thing for Isabel, because Yin Fen has dangerous repercussions if you take it for too long. Now, I haven't read the Infernal Devices, but there's a character called Jem, and Magnus actually references him in this episode. There's a character called Jem who was forced by demons to take Yin Fen, and it had a really bad effect on him because he had to take it for so long that he became dependent on it, and if he stopped taking it, he would die. And it turned him, now, correct me if I'm wrong because I haven't read the Infernal Devices, but it affected his pigmentation, it affected his hair, it made him really sick. So I don't think that they're going to have Isabel taking it for too long. She's already having withdrawals. She already doesn't have any. So maybe that's it. Maybe she won't be taking any more. And I feel like once the other characters find out what's going on, shit is going to hit the fan. Especially when Alec finds out that she's been addicted to drugs because of what Victor has given her. So I'm actually interested to see where it'll go. It's not my favourite parts of the episode, but I'm definitely interested to see where they're planning to head with this. Because it's not exactly a great storyline, but it's definitely intriguing for me. So hopefully it won't take up too much of Isabel's arc for all of Season 2, 2A and 2B, but I definitely want to see where they're planning to go with it anyway. We got to see more of Magnus's connections with different people in the Hunter's Moon because he saved Isabel from the drug dealer who was going to give her Yin Fen, and led to him talking about Jem from the Infernal Devices. I'm surprised because people on Tumblr are offended by this reference. Like, the reference is literally just, I have a friend, Jem, who suffered because of Yin Fen.
Apologies. I've seen the havoc Yin Fen can wreak up close and personal. It nearly cost my friend Jem his life.
And suddenly people are just like, oh, that's offensive, that takes away from Jem's storyline. He didn't take it like Isabel did, he was forced to. You're taking away from nearly one of the very few POC characters in the book series' storyline. It's like, whoa, slow down. It was just a reference. He didn't say that Jem willingly took it. He didn't say that Jem was an addict because he willingly took it. He didn't say that Jem was a junkie. He just said that Jem struggled with Yin Fen, and he did. He was forced to take it by demons to the point where he got addicted. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it was just a reference. I don't understand. Are people just looking to get offended now? And I wouldn't be surprised because book stands, you know? I'm not going to talk about it too much because I don't know what to say. It's just a reference, you know? It's Clary and Cleophas and teasing Luke. Now, I appreciate how Clary acted in this episode. She recognised that Cleophas was working with Valentine. I thought this was going to turn into a thing where she went, I'm Clary Frey, I can do what I want, I'm going to go with Cleophas, despite what Luke is saying. But she didn't. She said, look, only Valentine calls me Clarissa. Something's not right here. But I really don't agree with teasing Luke. Maybe that's just because I love Luke. But I didn't agree with that. I was like, Clary, Clary, why would you do that? You just got him back and now you're teasing him? Oh. Maybe I'm just being, like, overly sensitive, as I say, because I love Luke, but it really made me go, why would you do that? He could have helped. And he does later, so it had no purpose. The angel at the end. I can't remember his name. It begins with U, and I'm not going to try to pronounce it because there's no point, because it'll probably get it wrong. I'm going to level with you here. I completely forgot that Valentine kidnaps angels. It definitely was a plot in one of the books. I can't remember which one, but it definitely was. I think it's a plot in City of Glass. And I completely forgot that was something that he did. So when all this angel talk was happening, I was sitting watching it like, what? And it kind of hit me when Cleophas was like freaking out. I was like, shit, he does do that. So I appreciate that they're trying to incorporate some of the plots from the book into the show. They're taking elements from the books and they're doing it in different ways. So I'm definitely interested to, I always say this, but it's true because I can't make predictions about these things. So I'm always saying I'm interested to see where they're planning to go with it, because it'll be interesting to see whether they're planning to go the way the books went with it, or they have their own vision in mind for it. I honestly love how they're taking like the different parts of the books and making it their own, so that it's not completely predictable, but there are things you recognize. It's really good, and I love the way that the writers put so much energy into trying to incorporate things while also making it different so that people will be surprised. I'm ashamed of myself for forgetting to talk about this, but I completely forgot to talk about Luke and Valentine's interaction. Luke and Valentine are a brilliant example of Parabatai gone wrong. It shows that not all Parvatis end up staying connected in the way that Jace and Alec is, for example. Sometimes it does go wrong, and sometimes it does go sour, and sometimes they do end up resenting each other. And to be fair, I do think that the Parvati bond broke when Luke was turned into a werewolf, but Valentine still seemed to think that he could manipulate that by calling him Parvati, but Luke wasn't having any of it. He's like, look, this is over. Did you get that? Look, this is over. I didn't even plan that. He said, look, this is over. We're not Parvati anymore. Don't try and pull this. This is because of you. This is your fault. And I'm sure it wasn't easy, because even though their Parvati bond is broken, you probably still have the underlying emotions that came with it. So it's very interesting to see that kind of interaction between them both, and I wonder if it's going to be played upon even more, because it's very good to see, because it wasn't exactly a big theme for Luke and Valentine in the books. So I'd love to see them try and talk about that more, and I'd love to see it touched upon more, because it's definitely something intriguing that they added in there. So yeah, Valentine's kidnapping angels. How he got an angel, I can't remember how he did it in the books. I don't know if they can explain how he did it in the show. It's not exactly like there's a black market for angels, you know. I don't know how he got them again. I can't remember. If you can summon angels the same way you can summon demons in the books. I don't think so. So I can't wait to see how they explain it, because I'm kind of confused. It's like, okay, where did you get him? Who did you hurt, Valentine? Where did this guy come from, you know? But then the angel gave Jace and Clary a vision, and I'm not sure what this. I have an idea of what this vision could mean, but I'm not going to say anything because it'll give major spoilers away. But I definitely have an idea in mind about what this will mean, so I really want to see where it's going to go with this. I'm really excited. And there's only 3 episodes left. 3 episodes left, 8, 9, and 10, so I don't know if it'll play into 2A or 2B, but I'm ready for the next episode. Sign me up. I am done and I am ready. I know that Fair and Unbiased is supposed to seem like I'm being I talk about all the problems and the good things, and this review was mainly positive, but that's because I talked about a lot of the negative stuff, the negative feelings that people are having in First Thoughts. I personally don't agree with them. I expressed how I was disappointed, but I wasn't exactly offended. But if you want to see my thoughts on the problems with the episode, then scoot on over to First Thoughts. It'll be linked at the top corner at the end of this video. Overall, as I said, it's not a strong episode. The Malik scenes let it down. It was very plot heavy. The plot there was so much different things going on that it all kind of felt jumbled, and there wasn't enough time to get everything out and developed. But it was bound to happen sooner or later that there was going to be an episode that wasn't exactly the strongest. So I'm not going to condemn them for it. It takes a lot for me to condemn them, and I haven't done it yet because there's nothing that I thought was condemn worthy. So I can't wait for next week to see what's going on, where they're planning to go. I can't wait to see Max's rune party. So see you next week, Shadowhunters, Angels, and Darkmolders alike. And remember, if someone has kidnapped an angel, please ask them where they got it from, because those things are not easy to come across, okay? They could be onto something.
Valentine didn't come out of nowhere. We use our angel blood to justify everything we do, just like him. Like him,